Oh, it's fun, crazy. It's painful, but it's wonderful. What is the name?
It's Reusse Unchained.
Pat, we do have in a few minutes here the latest Minnesota Twins manager odds, and there's a list of 18 or 20 names ranked in odds. But what's your preview? What are your takes on Vikings Browns? Dylan Gabriel, the rookie, going to make a start for the Browns this weekend.
Yeah, and boy, they were forced into that. Where was he drafted? Was he late first round, or where was he?
Third round, I think. I think he's a third rounder.
Ooh.
So they drafted him in the third round, passed on Shedeur again, and then later were forced to take Shedeur in the fifth round.
Is Shedeur hurt?
No.
Are they choosing this guy?
They're choosing this. Yeah. Oh. Shedeur continues to show signs of some immaturity.
Yes, but I think he's maybe, I don't know. Was this, North Carolina? North Carolina State, this guy? Where was he, Dylan Gabriel? Where was he?
That's a great question. I'll find that for you. Central Florida. He was at three different schools. Central Florida, Oklahoma, and then it was Dan Lanning's Oregon boost at the end of his 6-year collegiate career. Okay. He made 64 starts in college over 6 years. He got the red shirt and the COVID season, I think.
Okay, is he supposed to be an athlete or what?
He's mobile. He's mobile.
Well, Joe was not, and watching that, I watched maybe 5 minutes of that game, and you with that offensive line, it looks like you do need no mobility. So, but this is a walkover win, isn't it? They have no offense whatsoever there, even when Flacco was playing. I don't know how you lose. I don't think they can lose this game. I think this is impossible to lose. Honest. What does Cleveland have going for it?
The Vikings have some things in their own house that they need to worry about.
A lot of injuries, and Cleveland has some. Cleveland has some defense. They're supposed to be the defensive okay, but are we all surprised that our guy Stefanski is still holding on there after he was like the coach of the year when he first or second year, right? And then
he's won it twice.
Since he's
won it twice.
And then what? The last this will be year 3 that they stink now, at least year 3.
He's like the 4th best coach in Cleveland Browns history, both iterations.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
it's not that long. It's like Marty Schottenheimer, Paul Brown. How far back do you have to
I would say the number one coach is probably the guy who had the team named after him, which was probably the Browns. And I'm old, but I'm not old enough to have ever dealt with him. But he was a bit of a contrarian. You took orders from him if you covered that team, I guess. And then, of course, that's his kid, still owning it, still running it, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
No, Cincinnati, yeah.
Did Mike you see Brown. Who's out for the Vikings, though, Patrick? The offensive line, where Blake Brandel's going to move from being a bad left guard to starting the first game in his life, including Pop Warner at center.
I know that, but we got the tackle back. Darisaul's going to play, right?
O'Neill's not.
He's still in there. O'Neill's out.
So what did this other center do? He didn't make enough contact with people to get hurt, did he? Juergens.
Michael Juergens.
What did he do to get hurt?
Is it a hamstring for Juergens?
It's a hamstring, yeah.
Okay.
He was moving around so much, Patrick, trying to make up for guys that he missed, that he strained his hamstring.
Yeah, well, it is terrible what has happened to the offensive line. There's nothing about it. Now, the 2 guards we signed, Willie Freeze and the other guy, are they both playing? Are they the 2 veteran guards?
So Will Fries is playing. Donovan Jackson, the first-round draft pick guard, is out with wrist surgery. So, by the way, this is the exact conversation the Vikings are having internally right now. So, the guy we drafted, so is he playing? No, he's out. Okay, so we need to. By the way, ESPN.com put out some picks, and I don't know who this is. Walder, so one of the ESPN writers, Seth Walder. Mm-hmm. I love it. He says Browns 18, Vikings 15 in this game.
Wow. He sees lots of field goals or lots of
11
missed
field
extra,
goals. Let's go.
11 or missed extra points. What it is? The Browns stink. They're gonna win. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Then he
Positive
got a
Pat.
week
Let's
off.
go.
You
Yeah.
told me the same thing in 2017 before the Eagles game, and I lost
Yes.
my house and my first dog.
I was slightly inaccurate on that one. I will. And
Well,
of course, the trouble with being inaccurate that time was I was telling it to Mel Kiper on ESPN one morning about don't be ridiculous. This Philadelphia team with Nick Foles playing quarterback, they can't score any points. For goodness sake, didn't they win their first playoff game that year, like 9-3 or something, because they had him playing? Didn't they?
Falcons.
Yeah, they had this ugly nothing game. That's still one of the, you know, I've said this before. Everybody talks about the Falcons' performance, and the losing here. They played good that day. That was a hell of a game. I think this 34-7 in Philly ranks just a nose behind 41 Donut as far as a pathetic Viking performance that we did not see coming. That was an all-time bad one.
Yeah, well, it would be like if they scored first in the 41 donut game, and
Yes.
then the 41 donut happened.
Yes,
Pretty
that's
much.
right. But I don't know. It's you looking at the NFL now. We had a game on the other night. Some team was playing. What was it? They didn't have half their team either. It's
Well, last night the
unbelievable.
49ers went into
Yeah,
and
the
beat the
49
Rams without any of
with
their prominent players, really.
without anybody. That was it. Yeah, I mean this injury thing is. I don't know how you prevent it. They're they're trying to do all these silly rules to prevent it, but it doesn't. These athletes are too good and they're running too fast when they collide with each other. They're like every sport. The athletes are way better than they used to be, and these guys, instead of waddling around at 310, or in the middle, these are guys that weigh 240 and are missiles that are hitting each other, and I don't know how you prevent them. I mean, I don't really know. And I've said this 100 times, but the offensive linemen, they're asking them to do so much more than they used. When the Vikings were going to Super Bowls, 5 guys lined up next to each other about a foot apart, and just now these guys, they get them spread out and they're trying to get to the edge to block people, and hammies are popping, and it's an impossible sport to stay healthy, and especially as they keep adding games. Now we're going to have one more. They're going to play 18 and play any night of the week and flying you to Europe and stuff. Do you think being over there? We don't get enough good information when they're near. They can go over there once, but they've been gone 2 weeks. Nobody
Well,
knows what the hell's
they're
going on.
practicing in like a pasture out in
Yes.
the rural part of. They're not like in London. They're like
Yeah.
out in some.
Yes, right, out in
It's
the
like they
boonies.
created a field in a pasture, and media members are walking down this hill with grass up to your waist. It's kind of crazy, the setup.
Yeah. I wonder why. I mean, they've been over there before, right? Didn't they have better conditions than this? I don't
It's
know
like
what's
Rocky
going on.
Four,
Well, the
Pat.
same.
You got to go out in the wilderness, reset yourself mentally, come back as a fighting machine against the Browns.
I was reading some story about the whole Vikings want to create this market of Viking fans in London, and so they're doing a lot of events for the fans in old buildings in the city, right within the city, but the teams out in the boondocks. So is the team coming to town Saturday night, or are they staying out there the whole time?
They stayed
What?
out. They stayed out there the whole time. Now I don't know if they brought them in for some events, but yeah, they're about an hour outside. They're at the same place that they were the last time I think that they played in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yes. Well, is
Uh-huh.
this again? How? By the way, I didn't get there last week. I had something else. How was the festive event that you had at the bar in Northeast Minneapolis?
Yeah, it
Great.
would have been hard for you to even elbow your way in. It
I
was
know it was great. Huh?
the doors opened at 8, and a line of people filled it up, and then the Vikings proceeded to give us that performance. People did. They almost came back and tied that game, and people did
Yes.
stay and
Oh yeah.
cheered till the end.
Well, they almost came back and tied that game because Rodgers talked Tomlin into not kicking a field goal. I was looking at my TV saying, "Listen, dummy, these guys kick field goals from 66 yards now. You have to, you know, they get the ball back, 3 down. They need 1 first down, and then they can kick a field goal. 120-yard play, and you could kick a field goal. What are you doing?
And if the Vikings had about 4 shots to get that 20-yard play, and they intentional grounding, sacks, everything. So.
Okay, what do you want? I saw this story in the Trib. Might have been in the Pioneer Press. Might have been everybody. I don't know. How satisfied we are with Carson Wentz. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. Sorry.
You're out. You're out on Carson Wentz.
I'm not out, but I'm not.
You and Declan?
I don't think he's an asset.
No.
I don't. No. I think he's made it easy for him to go back to McCarthy. Next. What we were talking about 3 weeks ago was, listen, if he wins 3 straight, blah blah blah, they might not be able to go back to McCarthy, but that's not happening.
We actually do have a McCarthy update during the podcast here. So Alec Lewis, Vikings beat writer from The Athletic, says Kevin O'Connell said his hope was to get JJ McCarthy some work today in individual drills, but with the weather and tight field space, they wanted to be smart with it. So it sounds like maybe they didn't get him work. Very much looking forward to spending some time with him next week and see where he's at coming out of the bye week.
So what is it, raining over there or something?
Must be a little wet out in the
Guess
boondocks of London.
what, guys? If you'd stayed home, you'd be enjoying the most gorgeous weather we've had in Minnesota at this time of year in my lifetime, which is a long lifetime, I might add.
Be perfect for baseball.
About to say, be perfect for a first pitch.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to guess the 5 odds-on favorites? I'm looking at a list of 20 Twins manager candidates from Bet Online. Who do you think is the odds-on favorite to be the Twins' next manager?
I would guess Derek Shelton's in the top 5.
He's 5th. Oh,
He's
yeah.
5th, but
Nice job.
I mean, you're just throwing darts. They have no idea. I can't even guess. I wouldn't even guess what they'd say.
Nepotism. I'll give you a clue. Nepotism.
Well, Kobe, no chance.
Odds-on favorite, 2-1.
Kobe, no chance. No. Hank
Conger, number 2.
Lost more games than the Twins did this year. Kobe's just hoping he gets.
That's because he had to put Edward Julian in the lineup, though. In fairness,
and Miranda,
right?
And Jose Miranda.
Well, yeah. I mean, he also every time he saw Cody Funderburk, he didn't know if he was coming or going. He didn't know. Did you just get here, or were you? Are you leaving, or what are you doing? But
why would you hire from the coaching staff? Is Hank Conger? Jace Tingler? Like what?
No,
what are we doing here?
I said at the time, if they fire Rocco and bring in Jace Tingler, the pox on their house. They've already had a pox on their house.
I was gonna say
you gotta blow out the whole mess and start all over with a coaching staff. And I think you gotta find. You got to find your own Stephen Voigt someplace. You got to find a guy, a guy who just got done playing 4 or 5 years ago. But there's a lot of competition right now. But it is amazing, though, when they start identifying candidates in football, it's a lot easier, don't you think? Because these are just the way the modern baseball operations are now. You don't have any idea what they're thinking, what they're looking for, and I really have I don't know, Declan, where are you on this? I have a 75% feeling Rocco didn't want to fire him. Or Rocco, that Derek didn't want to fire him. I think it was Joe. I think it was Joe and management, because Rocco would not have told us. Not Rocco, come on. Derek wouldn't have told us every time it was a collective. Anytime anyone mentioned
collective.
Rocco's
Oh my God.
The departure, he said this was a collaborative. I want to remind you, this was a collaborative decision.
He's pointing over at Joe.
Yeah, right. Joe wasn't there. only Jeremy there. I think that Jeremy, if baseball doesn't work out, can get a job as a stand-up comedian. Don't you think?
Hey, did you hear the one about the team that collapsed in September? Hey.
I I wrote this yesterday, but I basically asked him a question because
Yeah.
I felt sorry for him. He was just sitting there in a suit, kind of an ill-fitting suit, not a real expensive suit, and just kind of nodding his head once in a while when Derek said some gobbledygook, you know.
But the best part, Royce, was you then made your question a part of your column to rip Zoll, which I loved. That's the most Royce
I
thing
don't
of all
remember
time.
what he said.
Yeah, yeah.
I was being nice till I ripped him in the column. It was just
Yes,
brilliant.
well, come on, dang. It was awful. It
But
was an
here's the
awful
thing, like
display.
if you're gonna run out owners and heads of baseball operations in one of the most prestigious sports leagues in the world, I know baseball's fallen a little on hard times. You have to be able to speak clearly and somewhat dynamically to the
Yes,
assembled public and media.
yes,
Period.
yes. And you probably shouldn't be doing it in a bunch of chairs in an old clubhouse when you're firing. I mean, in the clubhouse when you're firing your manager.
Well, we'll just make it more of a kind of a low key, kind of casual, open
Yeah,
setting.
no, it's not. It's
You
I
you
don't know.
fired one of the main figureheads of your organization. Yeah,
They
it's
are they are floundering like this is worse than contraction because back then you didn't have social media to Twitter wasn't in existence in 1999, 2000, 2001. All that you couldn't have this cascade of criticism coming down from all over, and they have no idea how to respond to it. And it's Derek is I don't know. I wonder what the situation is with him. The one thing. Did you hear this? I heard that somebody told me that Joe was very upset when they got swept by the White Sox. That put him over the edge. Really? In the middle of September, do we give a damn if you get swept by the White Sox or not? You're not doing anything. But apparently, Joe thought this was just an embarrassment. Well, it was, but it was only a little that much of what was going on there. So
what was more. I think the September collapse from 95% playoff chances in 2024 far more embarrassing than a team that had already waved the white flag getting beat in a few games by the White Sox. They're both embarrassing, but it's not close.
I don't know. So one thing we're now going with is baseball prospectus projection said this team should win what 84 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it was about that. 83
Well,
and a half, I
and
think.
They're always conservative,
Yep.
by the way.
yeah, well, conservative. I looked at that team when
You did.
Pablo was healthy, everybody was healthy, and I said, I hate this lineup. Well, and guess what? With the way Buxton played, they should have maybe won more games because when you're baseball prospectus doing that, you got to mark Buxton down for 80 games, don't you? If you're
Yeah, they
going,
do.
if you're going there.
They bake that in. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So I mean that's kind of the phenomenal thing is you got the greatest season that Buxton will ever have, or they gave you, and you still stunk. So, but I don't know. Now, what do you think, Declan? Derek didn't take my question about trading his whole bullpen away too well, did he? He got a little
No, he did
testy
not.
about that.
He did not appreciate that. It was much more than just the bullpen, Pat. It was much more than everything else going on.
It's so
Yes.
funny how they get all testy. It's like you guys,
Yeah.
you guys look.
Look,
You're going to get hammered here because of
yes,
what you've done. So stop getting testy.
and you had one strength, and you traded all of it. When you looked at the Twins at that point in the season, end of July, you said, "What do you got? We got Buxton, and we got a bullpen. We got five guys at the end. So if we're ahead after six, we're okay." And you know, and 3 days later, you only had Buxton. You had, come on, go out there and get him, Cole Sands. You're our ace. of the
Justin
bullpen.
Topa.
Yeah,
Lather up, buddy.
Topa, Justin Topa. I still think we should have a Justin Topa song, a big greeting for Justin, like it was, like we did for Johan. Have the Justin Topa, turn the lights on and have everything. Kind of make fun of yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I know that the prize of that trade for the Twins was the kid who's in AAA now, the outfielder, but Jorge Polanco had a resurgent season for the Mariners this year.
Mm-hmm. He was good.
Yeah,
He was really good.
Yeah, he did. I never saw that coming either. But anyway, hey, and so I was looking something up the other day on a actually Stillwater High School football team. Blah blah blah. 50 years ago, the Gophers were the Saturday morning. They were heading to Ohio State to play the #1 ranked Buckeyes with Archie Griffin.
Wow.
Things don't change in 50 years at Ohio State. It's been the same for 50 years. Before that, 60 years. It's unbelievable.
Except player salaries weren't talked about back then, and now we would know that Archie is pulling down a cool $8 million with a brand new car.
Well, yeah, if he's playing today, sure, that's right. So at least.
How much are we going to need to cobble together for Drake Lindsay next year? How much NIL money is he going to require?
That's I was
better
thinking
start passing the basket
I was thinking
around.
the same thing. I mean, we can loyalty and everything, and I'm sure he enjoys it here and everything. But if all of a sudden, I mean, look around college football. How well did you do with your free agent quarterback? Is pretty much, the guy from South Dakota State that Iowa gave a bunch of money to. He ain't much in the Big Ten, and how did you do with the UCLA paid a fortune for their guy, right? The young guy, and they're terrible. They're terrible. Who's your next UCLA coach?
Oh man.
Who's going to take that? Dabo?
I feel like
going to leave Clemson and go there?
I feel like that's a bad job.
The job's terrible. Why would you want to be the coach of that program? They don't put any money in. Like, there's no incentive to go there.
They're going to have to now. They're going to have to. I don't know. I was thinking maybe Lane Kiffin. Lane's
God.
No, Lane's 5 years. He's been there, Ole Miss, like 5 years. That's Lane's timeline, isn't it? I'm thinking he comes back and tries to beat Southern Cal.
How about PJ finally takes the UCLA job, and then Lane comes home to Minnesota and takes the Gophers job?
That'd be great. But PJ would. He's up to what, 7.5 here now, right? They'd have to pay him 12 to get him out there, wouldn't they?
If he beats Ohio State, he'll get some offers in the next.
And take Drake with him.
Well, that's
take Drake with him. Part of the deal.
The other thing, and I wonder if in modern times they can both just go there together and say, "You want both of us?"
Right, same agent.
20 million. You want both of us? Make it a deal. Make it. They have tighter movement rules in the NFL than they do in college football now. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, Pat, we got to run, but we will recap all of the London and Columbus football action with you next week.
27-10 Vikings win. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Positive, Pat. Love me some positive.
Talk to you Tuesday about that prediction.
All right. See ya. Goodbye.
All right. See ya. Reusse Unchained. Positive Pat unleashed today.